Whiskey Jason here, whiskey from the viewpoint of an American over here in Germany, often tasting rare and exotic whiskeys. I'm not really sure. Lost Irish. Uh, this bottle was not made for me. Let's just say that. All right. So what we have here is 40% Irish whiskey. Um, we have two people that grew up a little bit of a time together in Ireland. We have here Neil Sands, and we have Tim Hurley, and they were childhood friends from Ireland. And then they partnered together with a spirits company from Mexico called Casa Lumbra, and then they import the whiskey here into Sweden. Now this is 40 euros, so very similar to the price in America for $40. But if I were in Ireland, I would have to pay 65 euros for the same exact bottle, which makes absolutely no sense whatsoever to me. So if we go to Celtic Whiskey Shop, 65 euros, it says Lost Irish is an adventurous Irish whiskey made from 6 worlds in 3 styles to embody the wandering Irish spirit. So this expression is a blend of pot still, of malt, and grain to create a complex but balanced flavor. So now I was thinking, all right, what places in Ireland can actually all three produce single malt, single pot still, and Irish? I'm sorry, and grain. Um, Bushmills, no. Cooley, I've never had a single pot still from Cooley ever, so no. So, Great Northern could be, but this hit the market 2021, 2020. In America, I don't think so. Could be. Middleton could be, but there is a secret gray horse always out there that we don't talk about very much as sourcing anything from William Grant and Son called Talamadu. Now, I think this actually might here be from this wonderful distillery. So I'm going to pull up this bottle here, and this is my comparison whiskey, a 14-year-old single malt. Now, this was made at Middleton. I do know that. But the Talamadu distillery actually was opened in September of 2014. So we're going on year number 9 already. That's amazing. And it was the first new distillery to have been constructed on a greenfield site in Ireland in over 100 years. Middleton was built in the 70s, but it wasn't a greenfield site. There was the old Middleton there, and the first to operate in Tullamore, the town there, since 1954. All right, so they can produce, originally it was 1.8 million liters in their pot still and their malt whiskey using just 4 pot stills. There was an expansion, so they have now 3.6 million liters possible. They also have, in 2017, they added a bottling plant as well as the grain distillery. Cost them another 25 million, but I think that's actually great because there were restrictions from Irish distillers in Middleton that said, hey, we not able to deliver the amount of whiskey you need, so they just basically built their own place, and I think that's fantastic. All right, very, very good. So 2010, William Grant and Son purchased the brand from its then owner, a so-called C&C group. Wow, that's something I've never actually researched in. So we have this 14-year-old single malt, bourbon, sherry, port, and Madeira. So 4 casks. 39. I get this for 38 euros 90 in Germany. Regular price at the moment. I think this is unbelievable. Someone just wrote in a chat, I think it was even today or yesterday, oh, my favorite whiskey is the Turcullen 16-year-old. I haven't seen that for 2 years. I went online and said, oh, I did find it. It was 90 euros. And between 90 and 100 euros, one was Amazon, one was a website. It's like, wow, no, that's a lot of money. And I have a 14-year-old. Yes, it's 41.3%. It could be a little bit more, but it's got a great Madeira finish and it's cheap. 40 euros. Now, this is also 40 euros, and I have 6 different casks here. Going through the casks here, we have our different countries and our different continents. So we actually have from South Africa, we have brandy casks. From Europe, we have sherry casks. From Australia, we have tawny casks. So tawny port, I use port outside, but Australia says, hey, screw you, we're going to use it anyways. We have from the Caribbean, from Colombia, we have rum casks. We have from Japanese Mizunara casks. And of course, we have from the good old USA, we have bourbon casks. All right, so and this creates a very worldly whiskey. Going back to our guy here, I'm just going to call him our guy, our Neil Sands. He had been a bartender. He had traveled the world, and so he knows that Irish people are everywhere, and he wanted to create a whiskey just like that. What I found very, very interesting is this is a custom bottle, and on the bottom it said here, "Get lost, stay lost," which I thought was kind of an interesting thing. So this is a 700 milliliter bottle. There are 750s for the US. I do know that because they brought the bottle over to Europe before the 700s were allowed. So, all right, some people call this Lost Irish Six World Three Styles. Three styles, single malt, single pot still, single grain. I'm using the word single because I think it's only from one distillery. It might not even be. Nowhere on any place do they talk about single malt. Do they talk about single grain? Do they talk about single pot still? So it might actually be a mixture of everything here. And I don't have any information about any batch codes or any batch sizes. Can't find any little writing on here either to see if there's a code someplace where we can do this. All right, so on the nose. My question of the day is, this has 4. I think, was it the Teeling? Was it Teeling single malt also had 5 different casks? So let's see here. Teeling single malt. So, all right. Teeling single malt had how many different casks they were using here? So really quickly, I always forget. I think I also might be 6 here. Let's go for this. We have, in Teeling single malt, we have port, sherry, Madeira, white Burgundy, and Cabernet Sauvignon. So there's 5 casks there. Here we have 4. Teeling we have 5, and here we have 6. So I do know Dingle also has a single malt. And how many different casks are they using? Dingle triple distilled single malt. So they are using here. So it's sold out at the moment at this one store. Interesting. So they are using here. Okay, with 69% first fill and 31% experiments. Only 2. So sorry. I thought there was actually more there. It was Teeling that has the 5. So we have 6. We have 6 different casks here, and I get that on the nose as a little bit of disharmony. First thing I pick up is the brandy, and that kind of throws me for a little bit of a curveball here. Then we get a little bit of the sherry and the port mixed together. The bourbon I don't really get. I'm not sure if I can even find any of the Mizunara in here. The rum is in here as well. And that's just like a basket of potpourri that has been badly, for me, my personal opinion, badly composed, mixed, created. This, on the other hand, the 14-year-old Talamadu, that Madeira really, really just kicks in and kicks through. I really, really like this. All right, so it's always a bad sign when my comparison whiskey I love and the one that I'm tasting I'm not really a big fan of here. 40%, 41.3%. Ooh, 1.3% more alcohol. There's a little bit of burnt note. There's a little bit of a sulfur moment. And this time it's actually going towards more of the rotten eggs than it is to the matchsticks. There's a little bit of woodiness in here, but it's all fighting against each other. There's no harmony. It's as if you're in the pit of the orchestra, and right before they start, everyone's doing their own thing. Everyone's doing their own thing here, in my opinion. Now, if you go to the website, which I have, of course, done. We have here our nice little website called lostirish.com. And of course, you have our whiskey. And the second thing you have is our cocktails. And so they're really into the cocktails here. Irish coffee, Lost Gold, Lost Fashion, Whiskey Jacket, Espresso Martini, the South Cider, the Turf Club. As I said, this is not my whiskey. This is not my generation. This is not my thing. Proper number 12 was not my thing either. Sexton, I kind of liked from Bushmills, or up there from Alex. What's her last name? I want to say Weber. But what Bushmills doing is good. This, Cheers. Mm. Mm. It takes a turn for the worse, in my opinion. It was a There's contrary flavors that actually clash with each other in my mouth. There is a certain, like, there's a rum sweetness, there's a brandy sweetness, there's a sweetness that's going on there, there's a maltiness. This gives you heartburn, at least gives me heartburn. This might be fabulous in a cocktail, but it's definitely not made for WhiskyJason to try it pure. Yeah, not even on the rocks, just straight neat. Um, there's a thickness to it. There's a viscosity in there, but the flavor profiles just, I said this once, I'm saying it again, clash. All right, so cleanse my palate. Go over here to this one now, dear people. This has been in America now for 2.5 years, so I'm way late to the party. Just arrived in Germany literally this week. So it's really interesting. We're going to launch an Irish whiskey, not in Ireland, but rather in the US. Okay, we know what the target group is. And then we are going to bring it back to Ireland, charge them 40% more than they should, and then bring it over to Europe, Germany and Europe, where we're going to have almost the same prices in the States. Just doesn't really do it for me. Green bottle. I mean, the bottle design is not bad. It sticks out, all right? So you have the red label. They actually just um, stuck a nice little thing on here. I pulled it off to see what it was, to see what's underneath. Can't do that. I thought maybe they were something like they're gonna re-import it something here to Germany and so on. But the glue was very, 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 very effective, and it actually stuck better than the paper did to each other. So that's that. This is, as I said, I haven't said this is a C minus D plus whiskey for me as a taste. It's a D for value for money. I would all day, every day, go over here to this whiskey. Try that. Mm. I like Madeira. I like this. That's why I really, really enjoy that. This has beauty. This has complexity. It doesn't have the depth and the strength of a good 46, 48% whiskey, but it is absolutely fantastic for what you get for the 40 euros. All right, if I had 40 euros here, 40 euros here, of course I would buy this every single time and ignore this. But hey, I'm a whiskey YouTube review channel, and I have to go buy the bottles, have to go review them, have to share them, have to fill up the sample bottles and get rid of the rest of the bottle. But the greenness of the glass, I'm not really partial to. But hey, for those of you that have had Islay whiskeys, you know that many of the Islay distilleries love using the green glass. Protects the whiskey a little bit more from ultraviolet light and so on. So why not? What is your opinion of Irish Lost? Many of you maybe have had it. Is it just the perfect cocktail mixer? Is it a drink you enjoy? Is it something you avoid? What is your personal opinion? And do you know any other whiskey brands or whiskey labels that actually use more than 6 different types of casks for their whiskey there? I commend them for the originality of the South African, of the Australian, of the South American Colombian rum, of the bourbon, and of the sherry there that's going on, and the Japanese Mizunara. I have the feeling that the Mizunara, there's going to be, you're going to have 100 bourbon casks for maybe one of the Mizunaras. So this is a product that's priced to sell. This is a product that is target to much, much younger, basically my son's generation here, rather than my generation. So why not? Good luck. Keep it up. And bringing people in Irish whiskey is great. And then we'll continue on with some really good stuff. The 18, the 14, and some other things that are single malt that are much, much higher quality. That's what we want. So keep up the good work. WhiskyJason here. Thank you very much for watching, liking, subscribing, listening, and sharing and telling others. See you soon. Bye bye.